This could be any town, any neighborhood in the Midwest. Fading for generations, it is now looking for rebirth. This is Junction Neighborhood, located just west of Toledo, Ohio, bounded by railroad lines to the west and south and I-75 to the east. Junction is 2 miles by 1 mile with well-designed streets east and west and north to south. Like many Rust Belt cities, the Toledo area had a sharp decline in manufacturing jobs, which began in the 1960s. In 2020, the Lucas Metropolitan Housing Authority applied to the U.S. Housing and Urban Development Agency for a grant called the Choice Neighborhood Initiative.
Well, our grant application, the LMH grant application, was selected as one of 11 applications out of 50 nationwide to be awarded a planning grant. And so HUD has awarded a planning grant to LMH and the city of Toledo, which will facilitate a 2-year planning process to create a plan to turn the Junction neighborhood from a distressed neighborhood into a neighborhood of choice.
Community organizations who have invested for years were brought together. The planning centered around 3 key areas: neighborhood, housing, and people.
Junction is made up of 8,000 people, 8,000 residents, and you may think that, oh, well, these residents are all renters, but we have partially the largest ownership in Toledo in home ownership. And so the Choice Neighborhood Initiative will help us address ownership of our community and keep it how it should be, and that should be the choice that we have.
There's a huge opportunity with a number of housing units that have been demolished to turn those properties around into an asset. How can all those green spaces be assembled? And in some cases, it's assembled for the purpose of new development, whether that's housing or something else. But there's also an opportunity to incorporate green space development.
You know, I can see really assisting in data collection, community asset mapping, doing research, town halls, canvassing, as well as using some of our other research tools that we have already utilized in the Junction community to give a better microscopic look at the Junction neighborhood in comparison to Toledo as a whole.
You know what, I think public schools as a cornerstone within any community that we play, you know, somewhat of a large role in, as well as really being a driver, in essence, being one of the bigger players in the area of 23,000 students and 4,800 employees. There is some capacity within our district to be able to do a lot of things.
Organization has been documenting specifically this community for the past 17 years. We know it because we not only have been documenting, but we have been a part of this community. We grew up here. The school, the elementary school that we went to here was here. We know the businesses that were here. We know the educators, the professional people.
Committees were formed and everyone got to work.
We are tasked to look at assets, challenges, and opportunities as it relates to our community and how these assets, opportunities, and challenges can support or help transform the Junction community.
Outreach events were organized. The residents in Junction would have a strong voice in where the investments would be made.
Resident engagement is the centerpiece of the Choice Neighborhood Initiative. It is our residents who are guiding us to achieve a process of comprehensive community transformation.
Even with COVID restrictions, the discussions and outreach continued.
My job has been to connect with residents that live here and get them to participate in the whole entire experience, and then also just share their information and knowledge about, what the community is like and what they would like to see.
The best thing to do is the planning first, of course. I think it's a great idea, it's going in the right direction.
It's good to see what the planning's all about. Restaurants, community centers, and it would be nice to see some of those venues, because we desperately need them, It's just exciting to see what's going to happen next.
More events were held, with residents reviewing and making choices. These community meetings focused on asking and listening.
I am very grateful for the level of participation that we're having, not only from the residents of the neighborhood, but also the support from the different community leaders. And like today, we are talking about more than 35 community partners that come to work hand in hand to establish a very sound and robust planning process that is going to open the doors for us to submit an application to get 30 to 35 million in investment to improve the quality of life of our residents.
Asking and listening.
This is only the beginning.